Hey guys, welcome back to Ask Snes. Hope you're all well today. So here we go, another episode, and I can't believe it's been another month already. Time is just flying by, it's going so quickly. So I've got a few good questions this time around, so let's get stuck straight in. And the first set of questions come from Nat Kennedy Breeze, so thank you Nat. And first question is, who are your top 5 non-European video game YouTubers? So I would probably say off the top of my head, first up would be Johnny Millennium, Happy Console Gamer. Love that channel, fantastic guy. And for me personally, for someone who's got so many subscribers and has been around for so long, he's one of the most genuine, down-to-earth blokes on YouTube. Such a nice guy, and you know, I really enjoy his content. Second would be TG Apelius, a good friend of mine I've known since I started on YouTube back in 2009, and makes fantastic pickup videos. Really intelligent guy, really interesting to talk to, and a really nice guy outside of YouTube as well. I've spoken to him a few times and really sound. Next would be Jurassic Charlie. She hasn't made a video for over a year, unfortunately, but Charlie is one of the nicest people I've met on YouTube. She's so lovely, and she makes fantastic videos, and she's got a phenomenal collection. Her room tours are just insane. Next would be Jenny, Johnny Depp fan, another good friend of mine from America. Another great channel. She does a lot of retro and modern gaming. Really nice person, really genuine, really easy to get along with. Fantastic channel. And the fifth one would be Alyssa White, who I watch regularly, who does a lot of different videos. So she talks about gaming, she talks about films, music, TV shows, books, whatever she feels I need to talk about geeky wise, and it's fantastic. She's such a nice person as well, really great. And yeah, she also collects Funko Pops as well. So those are 5 great non-European channels that I watch. Has there ever been an RPG that you didn't dislike? The only one that comes to mind is going to be Zelda on the Game Boy. It's the only one I've ever played where I've actually got anywhere in the game. I know some people don't class Zelda as proper RPG, but I'm not an RPG guy, so to me it's an RPG. Yeah, I've never really got anywhere on any other RPG. It's the only one I've actually put some time into, and I think it was because I was younger and I was a lot more open to just exploring, whereas as an adult I want a quick fix, I want to just play a game. And also modern games, I've got the story mode. I just find it really difficult to get into RPGs and to have to just wander around and work it out. Do you think that with modern gaming, that making a game fun is becoming less important than making the game realistic? I don't know. I think there's a good balance still. Obviously Nintendo is all about fun. Microsoft and Sony, the games you get on those consoles, you get a good balance. There's obviously a big move towards realistic games nowadays, and they want to make, you know, the mechanics realistic, they want to make the environments realistic, the characters realistic. I totally understand that, and you know, you can argue that it's getting too much like that, but I do feel like there's still a load of fun games to play, whether it be on Nintendo platforms or it be on PlayStation and Xbox. There's a good variety, whether it's indie or it's mainstream. Not mainstream, but you know, not big budget, AAA. So yeah, I still personally think it's a good balance between realism and fun. It's more, to me, difficulty is the biggest problem I have. Is a lot of games these days are frustratingly difficult instead of being fun. And they're not like the old games like Donkey Kong Country, which I'm currently playing, where you make a mistake, it's your fault, and there's something about the way they design those games that makes you want to keep coming back until you actually get through the area. Whereas a lot of modern games, I end up getting frustrated and just turning it off because it just annoys me. Okay, so thank you, Dan. Next questions are from Keith Hewitt. Cheers, Keith. Do you ever clean or sterilise your games, boxes and accessories? Not so much the box and accessories, but I do the games themselves, the cartridges. So I'll give the cartridge a clean down if it's got some dirt on it, get a bit of alcohol, a bit of cotton bud. I always take the cartridges apart and clean the contacts as well, so get a bit of Brasso, clean the contacts, wipe that off, get some alcohol to get the Brasso residue off, and then dry them out, and they work a treat. And that was a tip from Retro Nintendo, which has worked really well for me. You have to be very delicate with the Brasso though, because it's quite brutal stuff and it will mess up your cartridge if you're not careful. But yeah, generally it works really well. So, okay, you're missing out on so much on the Wii U this year. Kirby is great, so is Yoshi. Mario Maker coming, of course. Mario Maker is coming, and of course Star Fox. Have you caved in yet? I know there's a Wii U out there with your name on it. No mate, I've not caved in, I won't be caving. I'm not going to buy another Wii U. I've decided that a long time ago. I've had my fill, I've had 2 of them, and it just doesn't work for me. I don't gel with that console, so no, I won't be buying another one. I've read that they don't think photorealistic graphics will happen this generation. Mind you, at the start of last gen, I never thought a game that looks as gorgeous as Grand Theft Auto 5 would be possible. What do you think? I think with photorealism, the problem is that I've read online that the developer can already do that. They just choose not to do it, and I don't know if that's because of the fact that the games are so realistic in terms of the graphics nowadays already, and the violence in video games would be an issue should they go photorealistic, because obviously you don't want to see someone's head explode in a Grand Theft Auto game. The problem I've got is I look back at games like Mad Dog McCree on the arcade when I was growing up, where you shoot cowboys. But I think the difference is, even though those were films and interactive movies essentially, it's just that the violence wasn't there. That you shoot someone, they'd fall over. But nowadays, if you did a photorealistic game like Grand Theft Auto or COD, you're going to be seeing a lot of blood and guts, and that is something that would turn me personally off as a game. I wouldn't want to see that. But of course, there will be a level where they get to a point where they can't do anything more with the non-photorealistic graphics, and I don't know what the future will be then. I mean, Christ, before we know, VR could take off, so we'll see. Then it will be interesting. There's a YouTuber called Snestastic with a space in the middle, and he or she has posted gaming videos. What do you think? I have seen that channel when I sometimes Google myself and YouTube myself. I'm not egotistical, it's just that I do it just out of interest more than anything, just to see if anyone, especially on YouTube, to see if anybody's posted videos where they mentioned me and I wasn't aware that they give me a shout out or something. That's the only reason. So yeah, I have seen those videos. I've no idea who the person is or why they've decided to choose my YouTube name and cut it in half, but whatever. I mean, you Google Snestastic and you get all kinds of weird shit. There's a middle-aged, overweight bald bloke on a chat site on Plenty of Fish, I think it was, who's using my name. So thanks, mate, if you're out there. And yeah, there's people on DeviantArt and other sites using Snestastic as well. There's a guy, I think he's in Germany, who's got it on PlayStation Network, so I can't use it, which is a little frustrating. So yeah, it's interesting when you Google your YouTube name. Have you been to Dismaland, Banksy's new exhibition in Weston-super-Mare? So if anyone doesn't know, I live in Weston-super-Mare in the southwest of England, and at the moment Banksy the artist is doing has an exhibition, that's the word I'm looking for, downtown, which has been going on for a few weeks now. It's still on, called Dismaland, and it's not just Banksy. There's also Damien Hirst and a few other artists I've never heard of. No, I'm not going, mate. My mum and dad are going. They're going next week. They booked the tickets today. For me personally, the reason I'm not going is because Banksy's doing sculpture. He's not doing traditional Banksy, and I like Banksy's art. I like his street art. I don't give a shit about modern art and all this bloody sculpture crap. And Damien Hirst in particular, what a load of bollocks that is. That's the biggest con ever. Him and Tracy Emin have just stitched up art lovers. They've made millions out of crap. But yeah, none of that interests me. To me, that's not my kind of art. My kind of art is graffiti art, street art, or even a Monet or a Picasso. That's art. So next questions are from Kor Games. Thank you, Kel. I've recently got into collecting for the original Xbox. What are 5 games that you would recommend, not including Halo or Max Payne? So I assume that means just games that are on the Xbox. Doesn't matter if it's on PS2 as well. So I would say first up would be Freedom Fighters, which is a cross-platform game. Looks better on Xbox because they always do, because PS2 looks crap compared to Xbox. So yeah, Freedom Fighters, phenomenal squad-based third-person shooter game. Russians take over America. You're a plumber, you've got to fight back and join the resistance, and you get 2 squad members. And you have very basic commands, which is what makes the game so easy to play and so fun, where you can just tell them to go over there and attack, tell them to stand their ground, or you can tell them to back off. It's really, really fun. A little bit awkward and clunky these days, control-wise, but stick with it and you'll have a lot of fun. It's a great game. Really good story mode as well. I've really enjoyed that title. Gutted it never got a sequel, but you know, I know they were working on one at one point, but it got canned, unfortunately. Second one would be Black. Game I talk about a lot on my channel, but one of the best shooters of that generation. I love that game. I love first-person shooters, and Black, I was actually playing it last night, and I clocked it a couple of weeks ago for around about the 5th time or something. It's a brilliant game, really great if you like Black Ops style as well, the off-the-books military games. Fantastic title. Mercenaries, really great Grand Theft Auto sandbox style game set in North Korea. Very atmospheric, got a really great sound on that game. Highly recommend checking that out. Mercenaries 2 is a pile of shit, but Mercenaries is a fantastic title. Brute Force would be another one, a third-person action game which was an exclusive. Some people seem to hate that game. I personally really enjoyed it, a lot of fun. And the 5th one, well, I'd say the 5th one would be Kill Switch, although depending on where you are in the world, it's not, you can't get it in PAL regions. It's an American exclusive, so you'd have to mod your Xbox. It is available on PS2 in PAL regions though, if you've got a PS2. It's a fantastic third-person cover shooter and highly recommend playing that one. You've said before that you didn't keep up with Slipknot's newer material, so I was just wondering if you had listened to their latest album called Number 5 The Grey Chapter, obviously being a tribute to their late bassist Paul Gray. If you haven't, then think of it as a mix between the self-titled album and the third album, which to me is a great mix, mate, because those are two fantastic albums. I have not heard this latest album. I have heard one track which was on YouTube and I really like that a lot. I'm pretty sure I saw it was on vinyl, so at some point I will have to give it a try. What new releases do you plan on buying this holiday season, if any? Number 1 is Rise of the Tomb Raider. We wrote that, got it on pre-order, cannot wait, and everything I see about the game, it looks fantastic. I mean, I keep getting mixed up between E3 and Gamescom, but that initial footage where she was just climbing the mountain in the snow, it was nice, it was pretty, but it didn't really interest me that much. Since then we've had, in fact no, I think that was E3, because Gamescom was the one where they showed the beta demo where you get to see her sneaking around and killing people, which is brilliant. And there's another demo come out since then where she's a lot more expanded. I've seen demos where she's fighting a bear, where she's hunting through tombs. It looks really, really solid. And the first game is brilliant, so I'm expecting big things from this one. I want to get Until Dawn, which has just come out, so I'll make a price drop on that before I pick it up, but definitely want to play that. I'm a massive fan of Quantic Dream games, Heavy Rain, Beyond Two Souls, Fahrenheit, or Indigo Prophecy in America. And I've heard that apparently Until Dawn is a lot like the Quantic Dream style of gameplay, so that's right up my street, so I'll be grabbing that. Not entirely sure about the Uncharted Nathan Drake collection at the moment. I was really disappointed with the footage they put out of Uncharted 2 Among Thieves. Until I watched the video where they broke it down, they pointed out the backgrounds have been heavily emphasised. They put more detail into the mountains and the draw distance. It looked the same as the PS3 version. I wasn't impressed at all. And yeah, it's got 60 frames and it makes the gameplay a little smooth, which is fair enough. But what I think they missed a trick. They should have put out footage of Drake's Fortune. I'm not sure why they didn't. Being that came out in 2007 is the oldest of the trilogy and the one that looks the worst graphically, because the other two are so detailed. It would be fascinating to see what they've done. If that game is super updated on the PS4 and it looks phenomenal like it should do, then I'll buy the collection. At the moment I'm on the fence, whereas before I really wanted to buy the collection after seeing the footage. It's definitely put me on the fence about it, because I own all 3 games. I don't know if I want to spend £40 on a slightly better looking version. 60 frames doesn't interest me, by the way. What is the most pissed off you've ever got with a game? Without doubt, I've said it before, it'd be Prince of Persia, Forgotten Sands. The end of that game was a really great game, but at the end of that game you have to literally use all the buttons on the controller and it just gets so convoluted. I remember there was bits like there's sections where they're not doors, I can't remember what they are, there's like traps and they open up and you have to, it might have been choppers or something, I can't remember. It's been a long time, it's been years since I played it. But they open up, you have to timely jump off a wall and go through them and land on another one and bounce up and down, there's ice. Oh Jesus man, it got so ridiculously difficult. And I just slammed the controller on the sofa and it went bang, bounced over the room, hit the wood floor, and then I started panicking about breaking my DualShock. But yeah, that was definitely the worst I've ever had it. Brilliant game, but that last part, so frustrating. Right, next question is from LFC Gamer, thank you very much. And first question, is it me or is YouTube getting more broken every time? As well as constant missing replies, YouTube decides to fuck up my comments and will not let me use paragraphs if I want to move into another topic. Yeah, I think it's just Google, mate. They tend to just screw things up quite a lot on all their platforms, but YouTube in particular. I noticed yesterday I'm not getting notifications for comments now. Weirdly though, I am getting notifications for subscribers, just not getting comments for some reason. I had like 20 comments on my latest video yesterday. Not one of them came through to email. So Christ knows what's going on. They're always tweaking it, pissing about it a bit. I mean, they're getting rid of Google Plus, thank God, finally. Because that was my biggest bugbear, is the fact that if someone didn't have Google Plus and they left a comment on my video, I wasn't allowed to reply to it because they didn't have Google Plus. Really dumb. I hate that they forced that crap on everybody. No one bloody wanted it. They were never going to compete with Facebook anyway, so it was stupid. But that's just Google, they're just idiots. Have you ever thought of having your own Patreon account, and what are your thoughts on it? Right, well, Patreon, I'll give my thoughts first of all. I don't personally have any problem with Patreon whatsoever. I think it's a great tool for people to use if they want to use it, and I watch a couple of channels who use Patreon. For example, the XRGN guys over at Kinda Funny and Kinda Funny Games, they have 2 channels. They use Patreon. Fair enough, it's a bit different because they're running the business and they're actually trying to make a career out of it, you know, because they are ex-journalists, which is fair enough. But of course, you also get people like Metal Jesus Rocks who uses Patreon, and I don't really have a problem with it. I think if you want to use Patreon, go for it, because it doesn't affect my viewing. I watch Metal Jesus Rocks, I watch Kinda Funny, and nothing's changed. I still get the free videos on YouTube. Obviously with Patreon you get perks, so Kinda Funny you'll get the videos earlier. You'll sometimes get exclusive Patreon only videos. I can live without that, it doesn't bother me at all. So it doesn't affect my personal viewing at all when it comes to YouTubers. So yeah, I never understand why people get so uptight and angry about it. I understand when people get pissed off about the constant advertising. Like, I do get annoyed myself with some YouTubers when it gets to a point after a while where they're just banging on about Loot Crate and some other bullshit promotion, and then they're going about bloody Patreon at the end of the video. But if they're going about Patreon at the end of the video, I'll just stop the video and move on to the next one. I don't really get to me, because what's the point? You know, it's no point, is that? It really I don't understand why people get so angry about Patreon. It's not a big deal. I mean, I think really the YouTube way of doing things is better when they're following, I believe it's Twitch's idea, when they've got a donate button which is called support, which you'll see underneath videos, which is a great thing. You know, I mean, I think if you're going to do it, that's the way to do it. And you know, it's entirely up to you what you want to do with your money at the end of the day. I really object to people telling people what they should be doing with their money. It's none of your business. If someone wants to earn money and they want to donate to a YouTube channel, they want to donate to a Twitch account, or they want to subscribe to Patreon and support somebody that way, you have no right to tell them it's wrong. It's their choice, it's their money. But no, I won't be getting a Patreon, by the way. I'm too small. My channel ain't big enough to be warranting a Patreon account. Plus, it's a lot of pressure on myself as well, because you have to put a lot of extra work if you have Patreon, because you have to do the perks. And while I think there's certain cool things you can do, such as obviously arranging meetups to meet you guys, which would be awesome, there's also a lot of things that, as I say, trying to come up with something new and interesting is really difficult, because you're just going to end up doing the same sort of thing where you get exclusivity on videos, or you get, you know, brand new videos that don't get put up on YouTube, only get put up on Patreon and stuff. It's just a lot of extra work that, for someone with such a small channel like myself, it really isn't worth it. Did you regret selling your American Super Nintendo collection before you brought it back again? Not at the time, no. When I went to the Super Famicom and I sold the collection because I needed the money, I thought it was the right decision, and I felt like I was making the right choice by going to the Super Famicom because it was cheaper, and therefore I wouldn't break the bank and I'd be in a more comfortable position. A year later, I've started buying American SNES again, sold the Super Famicom, and I do have a slight regret, but only in terms of not listening to Retro VGS, Nintendo and Cybersnake 7, because they said to me at the time, take some time, think about it, and what you should do is really weed out the games you're not interested in keeping, sell them and keep the others. Which in hindsight, yes, that was the right way to go, and I should have done that. But me being me, I'm all or nothing. I just jump in, and so I do have a slight regret about it. But you know, it is what it is, and I'm enjoying getting the games back now and rebuilding the collection. And I think it's making good entertainment for you guys as well. You know, it's fun to watch, and it's kind of, I don't know, it just feels good. It feels nice to start over and fresh, and to have more of a perspective in terms of knowing what I want for the collection, not just buy anything. How often do you get frustrated with idiot drivers on the road, and do you agree that the police don't do enough to prevent them? Well, in terms of the police, in Western Supermare, that ain't a problem. The police are shit hot on drivers down here. If you speed, you get nicked. And they've always got cameras out, and they're always doing that thing where they open the boot of the car and an unmarked car, so you don't know they're there, and they'll catch you. So if you ever come to Western, don't speed, because you will get caught. Even if you got like a couple of miles an hour, like 32 miles an hour, they'll pull you over. So yeah, so they are pretty shit hot down here, which is a good thing, you know. I think it's right, because some people drive like bloody lunatics. You know, I had it one day. I was driving down the dual carriageway, and I had the window down and the music on, and I heard this noise, and I was like, what the bloody hell's that? And it's a 60 mile an hour road. This guy came up in a sports car. I don't know what it was, some white thing, looked like a Lambo, and he must have been going at least 90. And I'm there, there's a car on the other side of the road coming up as well. He's come behind this car, and he's gone in between like that and nearly clipped my bonnet, and I had to just slam the brakes on. It scared the shit out of me. And dickheads like that deserve to be pulled over because they're a bleeding danger. So yeah, I don't understand that. And I also don't understand bikes and all, why they feel the need to just weave in and out of traffic, and yeah, and I wonder why they get hit, you know. It's like, have a bit of common sense when you're driving, you won't get knocked off then. In terms of idiot drivers, every time I go out, I seem to get those kind of drivers. I always get people who drive at like 25, 30 on a 60, which winds me up beyond belief. Go 50, or you know, if you're really not comfortable, go 40, 45. Don't take the piss and hold all the traffic up. People who brake too early when they come to an island, they brake about half a mile from the island when there's nobody in front of them, and they're just slowing right the way down and just dragging you behind them. You know, people who don't stay in their lane on the island and just keep weaving in and out if your lane winds me up. People who indicate too early pisses me off. You know, I can't stand it. Like, there's a left turn, they indicate to go left, they drive past that left turn, they go into the second left turn. It's like, why are you doing that, you knobhead? indicate when you're getting close to your turn. Really pisses me off. Or people who will turn to a petrol station, for example, and then they'll indicate, and as they get to the petrol station, they'll slow right away down to second gear, and not just driving the petrol station. Oh no, they've got to crawl. You know, they might as well get out and push the bloody car around the corner. It's that slow. It winds me up. So I try not to get too annoyed by it. You know, my dad always says, just don't worry about it, just ignore it. So I tend to just like, when I see crap drivers, I just stay well back. You ain't gonna have any problems there. Would you like to be on Condime with me? And if so, which 4 YouTubers would you compete with? I wouldn't, because I can't cook. But if I could cook, I would pick Daz Conis Deloro, because he'd bring the comedy. I'd bring Cybersnake7 and Retro VGS, they're my 2 best mates, because they're absolutely awesome blokes and we'd have a real laugh. And 4th would be Stu to UK, because he's Mr. Controversial. And yeah, once you start him off on a topic, he proper gets uptight and you can have a good old chat. So, what is your favourite movie-based game? That would be GoldenEye on the Wii. Without doubt, the reimagining of the original N64 game is phenomenal. Played some good movie games over the years, but without doubt, GoldenEye on the Wii, superb every way. It's so fun to play. The level design, the way they expanded the original levels is just brilliant. You know, Daniel Craig in there as well. The score, the controls, it's just brilliant. One of the best games I've played using the Wiimote and nunchuck and all, because I'm not very good with that control scheme. I don't like it, but it works really well on that game. And okay, do you think that YouTube should have an option for anyone to see which YouTubers are liking or disliking their content? If so, it will give you a good idea to see who those idiots are that are thumbing down your videos, and then you can ban them. Yeah, I mean, liking we already know, because you can see it in the feed, so you can always see who's liking your videos. With disliking, my argument would be, if someone is continually thumbing down a video, which is happening to me at the moment for the last year, somebody is thumbing my videos down every single time they go live. I don't know how they're doing it. They must have an automatic system set up, because they can't just be sitting there waiting for a video to come up. Or maybe they are, who knows. But what I would say is YouTube, what they should do, if they're aware that people are systematically doing this to YouTubers, they should just email the content provider and say, look, this is the person that's doing it. Do you want to ban them? And you go, yeah. And you go, click, ban, done. That's the way to do it. That way it stops any arguments. It stops any gang mentality as well, of like subscribers ganging up and having to go at the person. Because, you know, there's dickheads out there. It's just the way it is. I mean, you've got a combination, you know, people who thumb you down because they don't like the video, people who thumb the video down because they watch the video and think you're a twat, which is, you know, subjective, it's your own opinion, but whatever. And then you get people who just do it because they want to do it, because they just feel like it's funny and it gets malicious and they think it winds people up. Well, I don't know, idiots. Right, so next question from Ben Williams, so cheers Ben. And Ben asks, have you heard of the Retro VGS? It's a new console for new games, mainly aimed at already released indie games, but they're going after licenses for sequels. What do you think? I have, mate. The Retro VGS is fantastic. Not a big fan of all these systems that are coming out. Like, you've got all these clone systems, you've got the Retron and all that, which the Retron was the only one that actually made me go, oh, that's pretty decent. But this is a completely brand new console. Now, if you don't know, guys, the concept is the Retro VGS, brand new console that runs games on cartridges. So it's basically going to carry on where the N64 left off. And the concept is, at the moment, they're going to be bringing over indie developers from Xbox and PlayStation and transferring some of those indie games that people have already played and loved onto cartridges and doing them as packaged physical media titles, which is brilliant. For someone like me who doesn't play digital games, I'm going to be able to play a lot of great games that I've never played. Fantastic. They also want to create their own brand as it becomes more successful over the years. They've got developers saying that they want to make games for it, so they want to make completely brand new original IP for the Retro VGS, which is fantastic. But the one thing that I found fascinating was that they have contacts with a lot of developers from back in the 90s and the 80s from the NES and SNES area and the Genesis. And so the old 8-bit, 16-bit developers, and they want them to try and make sequels to games from back then that never got made, which is fantastic. I mean, one of the guys they're in talks with is one of the guys that worked on Sonic the Hedgehog 2. So, you know, you're not talking crap developers, you're talking top quality stuff here. And it's fascinating, the amount of interviews, and I've read the website, retrovgs.com, link down below. Yeah, really impressive system. It looks like an Atari Jaguar if you haven't seen it. And the reason for that is because when Atari went under, they sold the tooling to a dental company who used it in their dental practices. They recently sold the tooling to this guy who's using it for the Retro VGS, so that's helping with his costs. So it's a really nice looking console. Obviously debatable if you like the Jaguar look or not, I personally do. The controller looks more like a Wii Pro controller. It's got 2 analog sticks at the top, buttons underneath the sticks, which I'm not a fan of. It annoyed me on Nintendo, but you know, usual thing, D-pad, shoulder buttons, triggers, all the usual. Looks a really nice design. Output wise is really good on the back. It's got composite, it's got a mini DIN, which I believe is for a Sega Genesis Mega Drive 2 SCART, so you can use RGB. You've got S-Video and you've got HDMI. So you've got all the options covered except for component, which if you've got HDMI you don't need component. So yeah, really, really impressive system. And as I say, I like the fact that they're looking to do completely brand new titles as well as bring indie games over. And of course that will probably mean brand new indie games as well. And if they can do it, sequels as well. Now the interesting thing is, I was looking on Facebook, which I don't have an account, but I was having a read of the Facebook page, and the pricing structure was the thing that's causing people a lot of grief. The Kickstarter starts next Monday, the 14th of September. So if you're interested, check it out on Kickstarter. Now, the pricing at the moment, they're talking $400 for the console, which I looked yesterday and that worked out currently at £261. Now, the reason for that is the technology that's involved. They've got this thing called an FPGA, which apparently will allow them to emulate the old 8-bit and 16-bit style of graphics, as well as create completely brand new, powerful games. Apparently it's quite a powerful piece of hardware. It's using ARM. I don't really know anything about the tech side of things, but from what I understand, it's pretty good. So they decided they didn't want to make just a cheap console and knock it out. They wanted a console that's going to last for 30 plus years and, you know, have some longevity, and so they can continue to bring out cartridge-based games for the foreseeable future. You know, completely new IP, which is a brilliant idea. So they are aiming at $400 at the moment. They've said obviously if they get to a point where they've achieved their Kickstarter and they've got the money that was requested, but then they go beyond that and they get even more and they get higher goals, they would consider making a cheaper version without the FPGA, so you have an option which one you want. I personally hope they don't. I hope they just stick to the FPGA if that's what they want to do, because it would just cause confusion with the software. Then it would just be awkward for people, I think. And you know, if you haven't got an FPGA version, you ain't going to get the best games. And it's, yeah, a lot of people are arguing and saying that the price is way too high, 260 quid. I don't think it is. Not for what they're proposing and for the longevity. You're talking about a console that's going to last for years and years and years. So personally, me, don't have a problem with it. I don't have 260 quid lying around, unfortunately. Otherwise, I would definitely back that Kickstarter. Never backed a Kickstarter before. I'm not interested in Kickstarter, but this has got me interested. If I had the money, I would, because they're doing special exclusive colours for the console, which look absolutely beautiful. So yeah, if I had the money, I would absolutely 100% lay my money down next Monday and put my money behind this. So I hope the people who have got the money and are into the Retro VGS and believe in it, get behind it and back the Kickstarter, because it is phenomenal. Really great idea for a console. And game price as well, they're talking between $20 to $50 depending on the type of game. So if you've got like a small, say 1 or 2 person team development and they just want to make a small indie game, that'll probably be the $20 SKU. And then the bigger development teams, they'll be up to the $50 SKU. And that at the moment works out about 12 to 35 quid. Obviously they might not do the exchange rate and might have to pay 20 to 50 quid. But nonetheless, I still don't think it's that bad for a brand new game on a cartridge in 2015, boxed, complete, manual, everything. Yeah, I'm well up for it. I know a lot of people seem to be against it because of the pricing structure, but I'm absolutely backing the Retro VGS and I would love to see it be a success. And if I had the money, I would back it properly with money, but I can't, which is really frustrating. Next question from Arcade Reality Lee, thank you Lee, who asks, what are your thoughts on the possible discless Nintendo system? If it's true and it's for the NX, it's sure going to divide people. I buy a lot of digital games for my 3DS, so I don't think I have a massive problem with it, like I thought I would. Let's have a drink. Okay. So yeah, recently a Nintendo patent came out, which was a patent for a discless console, and obviously people are thinking, oh, they're going digital. But there's also another school of thought, because they've also patented memory card slots. So people are asking, well, are they going back to cartridges using like solid state or some kind of cheap high storage media? Now that would be fantastic. As I say, I'm big on the Retro VGS. If Nintendo do it, then hell yes, I'm in. Depending on what the games are, but then Nintendo make great games, so yeah. In terms of digital, if they do it, then I'm out. I'm not buying it. I'm not interested. I have no interest in digital gaming, full stop. I've said that many a time, and you know, I ain't changing my tune on that one. However, I think, you know, can they do it? Can Nintendo be the first company to go fully digital? I actually think they can. I wouldn't have said they could a year ago, but now they're in bed with DNA and they're doing the mobile games, they're changing their focus and their way of approach to the gaming industry. So I actually think if anyone can do it, it's Nintendo. If you think about it, really since the Wii, they've been focused on the mass market appeal, not so much us gamers. You know, they do what they can for us, but mainly they're aimed at the mainstream. And those people, unlike us, who are really obsessed with our physical media, we're in the minority without doubt. The mass market, they're used to tablets and phones and used to streaming films and games and TV shows and downloading and just using digital content as a daily thing. It's nothing new. So I think they would be really easily convinced with this amazing new Nintendo console where they can just access all their games online. They can go on to Netflix and do online gaming and all this digital stuff. For us, it's a totally different question. It's whether you appreciate physical media or not, and I personally do. I love physical media. I think most of us do in the community because we're collectors. So personally, I have no interest. I've never even looked to see what digital games are available on PlayStation and Xbox. It just doesn't even cross my mind to do that. So yeah, it's interesting. It could just be that they're just doing the patent just to cover themselves while they think about doing that, and then they change their mind. I mean, Microsoft had it for the Xbox One. It was going to be discless. Then they changed their mind, and we all know what happened with Microsoft. So yeah, you never know. It might just be one of those patents that they filed a while ago and they haven't done anything with, or it could be where they're going with it. Personally, I would like to think that the memory card thing is true and that it's cartridge based, but there's a lot of rumour and speculation knocking around as always. We ain't going to know jack shit until June 2016 when they actually unveil the system, and then it'll be the big day, because that's going to be really interesting. I'm fascinated by the next year's E3. I can't wait to see what this hardware is actually going to be, what the games are going to be like. I'm still fascinated by the concept that everyone keeps banding around about, this whole handheld stroke home console where you can just, it's a smaller version of the gamepad and you can just take it with you, come home, jump straight back on the screen on your TV and play it on the TV, then take it out to bed, take it out with you. If they can do that, I think that's a really cool concept. I don't know. But then on the other side, I'm also thinking, give it a rest with the gimmicks and just give me an old school Nintendo, like a NES, SNES and N64, just, you know, well, even GameCube. Just give me a box a normal controller and great first party and great third party games. That would make me happy, but we'll wait and see. Nintendo always surprise us these days, so we'll see what they do. So cheers, Lee. Okay, next questions, and the last questions of the day come from Murray, Muzz. So cheers, Murray. And I said that because I've forgotten your numbers, mate. So Murray asks, are you enjoying making less Ask Snes videos? Yes, mate, absolutely. I think the new format works a lot better as well. It gives me a little more control over the videos. I don't feel like I've got this pressure of making a video every single week, because it was getting a bit much, to be fair. I like making them. I think they're brilliant. I enjoy them, and I always get great feedback from people who enjoy watching the videos. It's just that it was getting a bit hard to do them every week, and going forward I need to allow more time for myself. So yeah, it's working out well so far. Have you still been getting out on your bike? Not recently. You might have noticed I put some weight on. I'm trying to lose it again. But no, I haven't, because my bike's knackered at the moment, so I need to get it fixed, and I ain't got the money to get it fixed. So I will do eventually. Will the release date of Uncharted 4 being announced? With the release date of Uncharted 4 being announced, sorry, are you planning to pre-order it? I did have it on pre-order on Amazon, then I cancelled it because it ain't coming out till next year, so I wasn't that bothered. Now the date's been announced, I'm not sure, because I'm waiting to see if we're going to get the collector's edition in the UK, because it wasn't on Amazon when I checked yesterday. And the collector's edition looks really good, man. The statue, I think with number 3, wasn't it? Which was okay, but the one with number 4, the statue looks amazing. So yeah, depending on what they charge, I really want to get hold of one of those, if I can, it doesn't sell out straight away. For all I know, it's probably sold out already, but yeah, I would like that. But yeah, in terms of pre-order, I will have to pre-order it because I want it on day one. I can't wait for a price drop on that game. I know it'll get a price drop in a few weeks to a month, like every game, but it's Uncharted, so yeah, I have to play it day one. Do you have any plans for some new pickup videos for vinyl or Blu-ray? Not at the moment. I haven't actually got anything to show, so no. But when I do have them, yes, I will definitely still be doing those. Don't worry, Mario, I'm not going away. I will still do those for yourself and for other people who enjoy them. I've only picked up one record and I haven't bought any Blu-rays. There's a Blu-ray coming out at the end of the month I want to get, and there's a vinyl coming out I've got pre-ordered for November, so that's miles off. And there's a few vinyls I want to get, I just haven't got the cash to buy them at the moment. There's a couple of old vinyls I want, but the one I want's like 50 quid, which is just ridiculous. I don't have a choice for one, I've got to pay it. And yeah, there's a couple of new ones as well, but eventually I'll get around to it. But when I do buy them, yes, definitely there will be more vinyl and Blu-ray vids. And I need to do a Blu-ray collection at some point as well still. And last question of the day, are you looking forward to the end of summer and the long winter evenings? Yes, mate, always do. As I've said before, winter, my favourite season, I absolutely love it. It's a bit weird at the moment, it's sort of that in-between stage where it's starting to get darker earlier, around about 7:30, 8 o'clock now, whereas it was getting darker at like 8:30, 9, 9:30 before. So it's a bit weird now, it's getting darker again. It's always this first couple of months leading up to Christmas where it slowly gets darker earlier, and it always feels a bit off. And then eventually gets to the point where it's like 4 o'clock and it's pitch black. But yeah, I like the winter, as I said before. It's just something cosy about the winter. I like the cold, I like the snow if we get it, the rain. I like the darkness. I like the fact that you can just snuggle up in your house with the heating on, you just watch TV, watch films, play games, just escape from reality. It's a good thing. Winter's the best. So there you go, guys, that's this month's Ask Snes. Thank you very much for watching as always. Hope you've enjoyed the video. And of course, if you do have any questions for me, please email me at snestastic@outlook.com, and I'll answer those questions next month in October. So check back in October for a brand new episode. The episodes go up first Friday of every month. Thank you for watching, guys. Please remember to like, comment, share and subscribe, and I'll see you in October.